Stop right there. If you're about to move your house, your bank account, or your business into a trust because you've heard it's the ultimate asset shield, take your hands completely off the keyboard. Seriously, don't move a single dollar yet. Most people treat a trust like it's a giant magical safe. They think if I just stuff all my expensive things into this safe, nobody can touch them. So they rush out, pay an online service to write up some standard paperwork, and start moving their real estate titles or cash accounts around as fast as they can click a button. But here's the catch. A business can look organized on paper the same way a suitcase can look packed when it's closed. But the real test comes when pressure hits and you find out whether everything was placed in the right compartment. In the asset world, order matters way more than speed. And if you move your assets before you understand the rules of the road, you aren't protecting them. You might actually be locking yourself out of your own equity or handing a perfect roadmap straight to a creditor. So today, we're breaking down the 3 absolute rules you must master before you change a single name or a single title. Because remember, structure determines what survives. Let's look at the blueprint first before you move anything. And to get real protection out of a trust, you have to accept a weird legal truth. You have to stop legally owning your assets. Now, that sounds completely crazy at first glance, right? You worked your entire life to buy these properties or build the cash reserve, and now some legal structure tells you that you shouldn't own it anymore. Let's use an easy analogy to see how this actually works. Imagine you own a beautiful house, and in the backyard, you build a custom swimming pool. Because it's your house, you own the pool completely. You can dye the water bright blue. You can invite whoever you want over for a barbecue, or you can drain the water whenever you feel like it. You have total ownership. But because you own it, if a neighborhood kid sneaks over, slips on the wet concrete, and gets hurt, they're going to sue you personally. Your personal assets are on the hook because your name is on the deed. Now, let's flip the script. Imagine a community swimming pool in the middle of your town. The town hires you to be the pool manager or the head lifeguard. As the manager, you hold the keys to the gate. You decide when the pool opens. You decide who gets kicked out for running, and you control the pumps. You have total control over that pool. But do you own the pool? No, the town owns it. So if someone slips and falls at that town pool, they can't sue you personally to take your personal car or your family savings. They have to sue the town because the town owns the asset. That is exactly what a trust does when it's built correctly. The trust is the town. It owns the property or the bank account. You step into the role of the trustee, the pool manager. You still control the assets. You decide how the money is invested. You decide when a property is bought or sold, and you control the gate. But because you don't legally own it under your bare personal name, a personal lawsuit against you can't reach inside the trust to drain the water or seize the land. If you aren't ready to change your psychological mindset from the "this is mine" to "I manage this," you're not ready for a trust. Ownership is not control. The second thing that you have to understand is something called the transfer trap. In the legal world, professionals call this a fraudulent conveyance. But let's keep it simple. You can't build a storm shelter while the tornado is already ripping the roof off your house. So, a lot of entrepreneurs only start thinking about trust when they get a scary letter in the mail. Maybe a client is angry, a tenant is threatening to sue, or a business deal is falling apart. They get panicked, their survival instincts kick in, and they think, move my money into a trust today so the lawsuit can't touch it tomorrow. Quick, let's move my house. Let's look at why this fails using another everyday analogy. Imagine you're playing a high-stakes game of tag on a playground. The person who is it is running full speed at you, and they're only 2 feet away, arms outstretched to tag you. And right before their hand touches your shoulder, you jump on the park bench and yell, "Safe zone, you can't touch me, time out." What does the referee do? The referee blows the whistle and calls a foul. You can't run to a safe zone after you're already caught in the middle of the play. The legal system works the exact same way. If you see a lawsuit coming, or if you already owe a creditor money and you suddenly move your wealth into a trust to hide it, a judge is going to see right through that pattern of behavior. They'll call a foul, wave a legal wand, and completely undo the transfer. They'll drag the asset right back out of the trust, hand it to the person suing you, and potentially hit you with massive penalties for trying to cheat the game. Because behavior leaves patterns, the timing of your movement tells the court everything it needs to know. You have to build your safety structure when the skies are completely blue and there isn't a single cloud on the horizon. If you wait until you're under fire, the movement itself becomes evidence against you. And the third rule is all about matching the right order to the right asset. And this is where the phrase "order precedes movement" becomes your shield. Think about a warehouse with the valuable inventory. Before you move expensive equipment, fragile merchandise, or hazardous material into the building, you don't just throw everything through the front door and hope the warehouse protects it. You first decide, where's the valuable inventory going? Where does the dangerous material go? And what is the daily operating activity? Where's that going to happen? Where does the paperwork get stored? Where does the money flow? Because if you put gasoline, customer files, forklifts, inventory, and payroll records all in the same open room, the warehouse is not protecting anything. It's just holding the disaster in one place. And that's what happens when people get excited about trust and start moving active business operations directly into the trust container. They change the ownership of their active consulting business, salons, retail stores, construction companies, trucking companies, cleaning companies, or rental operations straight into the name of the trust. And that feels like asset protection, but structurally, it may be the total opposite. You just moved operational risk into the container that was supposed to preserve value. And that is the mistake, because your operating business interacts with the messy public every single day. It signs software agreements, it hires marketing agencies, it takes credit card data, and it drives vehicles. It's a magnet for daily risk. And if you connect that messy, high-risk activity directly to your clean trust, you're tracking mud all over your family's vault. Instead, mature asset protection uses a precise two-step process. Step 1, you build a clean middle layer, which is usually a holding company, LLC. The holding company doesn't do business with the public. It just sits there like a heavy locked safe. Your active operating business dumps its net profits up into the safe. Step 2, it's the holding company ownership that connects to your trust. That creates a clean air gap. The risk stays down at the ground level where the operations happen, and the value gets swept up to the middle vault, while the ultimate ownership is anchored safely at the top by the trust. Every single piece has a specific seat on the bus. And if you just throw all your assets into an aisle without an orderly plan, the bus is going to crash. Structure determines what survives. Moving your life's work into a protective structure isn't something that you just rush through on a Sunday afternoon after watching a few videos. It takes a deliberate strategy that values long-term order over temporary speed. And if you want to stop guessing and see how exactly to line up your foundation the right way before you move assets into the trust, the right container, the right asset, and the right order, tap the link in the description and choose the Built Backwards test. And if you want more straightforward breakdowns on how business structure works without the confusing legal jargon, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button to the channel right now. But before you click away, I want to leave you with one specific question to think about. What is the one asset you currently own in your bare personal name that will cause the biggest headache if it got tied up in a sudden dispute tomorrow? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's talk about what the entry-level tutorials left out. And let's get to work building the foundation. See you in the next episode. If this gave you a different way to think about your structure, then like the video and subscribe, because most of what's out there is focused on formation, not what actually holds under review. And if you're already operating a business, then there's a free resource in the description called the Structural Exposure Check. It's a simple way to see whether your business is actually separate or just documented that way. And remember, structure isn't what you file. It's what survives under pressure.